Hello, welcome to episode 3 of the Elevate Your Wellbeing podcast. I am so excited to be here. This episode's going up as we have the final quarter moon in Virgo. And I just want you to check in with how you are feeling. Now, I know I'm doing journal prompts at the end of the episodes, but I do want to check in. How are you feeling? We're in the lead up to Christmas. It's a hectic, manic time of the year, if you allow it to be, if you choose it to be. But as the moon wanes, so does our energy levels. So your energy levels may be feeling a bit depleted. And if that is the case, rest. Rest as much as you can. There is no need to push, there's no need to force. Don't feel like you have to push to get whatever you're intending to do for the holidays absolutely perfect. Because perfection isn't real. So one of my mentors, I think I started training with her back in 2018. One of her sayings is done is better than perfect. Like I said last week, I'm at that bumper sticker yoga teacher. I'm owning it. I love a one-liner. I love a quote. And done is better than perfect. And the reason I laugh about this is because the moon is in Virgo. Virgo loves perfection. It loves getting things done. If you love a to-do list, that is a trait of Virgo. And I giggle because I have a lot going on in my Virgo house. If you know anything about astrology, there are the houses, and my sun sits in the house ruled by the sign of Virgo. So though I'm a Gemini sun, outwardly I can be very happy chatting, getting to know people, but it sits in the house of health and well-being and being organized. You know, when you really come down to like boil it down, bring it down to the bare minimum of what your health and well-being is, it's being organized, being on top of your well-being. So we feel like we need to be perfect. And the truth is, it's owning that we're not. We're as good as we can be in any given moment. And it's honoring, like I said last week, yes, we want to get up and move. We want to use some energy to create more energy. But sometimes we don't have that balance. We end up using too much energy and we burn out. So this is where that beautiful Virgo energy can come into with this final quarter moon or last quarter moon as a reminder as we approach the holiday season, as we approach the end of 2022, to pause, to reflect. And I love that this episode is going up as the moon is in this health conscious, this health loving, this health focused sign, because I'm going to talk to you about my move into coaching, why I really love being a well-being coach. And it has so many different titles with it, you know, embodiment coach, mindset mentor. There's so many elements to coaching. And I had a lot of resistance with this. There was a mentor, another mentor, very different mentor from the one I just mentioned, that has the quote, done is better than perfect. And I really wanted to train with her. There was something energetically that really connected me to this coach. But I was like, I'm not a coach, I'm a teacher. And I really had a block with the thought of being a coach. And then another mentor, I collect mentors like I collect quotes. I love working with other people. And this is why I'm so enthusiastic with working with you, because I know the benefits of working with other people that are where you want to be. And another mentor who's a yoga teacher, and she really loves mentoring people to be the best they can be and give the world what they can offer. We're all here to offer something. We all have our unique talents and thoughts and dreams and desires. And she really highlighted that coaching is basically what we do when you have a one-to-one with me, a yoga teacher. And I was like, well, that's exactly what it is. It's sitting down one-on-one. And even a yoga class is group coaching. You know, you're all coming in, you've got the same intentions, of you wanting to feel better, but everyone has something slightly different for why they're there. But realistically, it really highlighted to me how what I was already doing is coaching, and it was just knowing how to pivot my message and how I can create something slightly different. And that's where I ended up owning that in 2021. And I signed up for a 12-week program, and I absolutely loved it. And the timing couldn't have been more perfect when I look back at it, but at the time it really sucked. So it started in April 2021. And here in the UK, a lot of things were still shut down at the beginning of 2021. But this person's in the States anyway. I'm in the UK, so it wouldn't have been possible to have done anything in person, especially for that amount of time, at least not yet. I'd love to be able to travel somewhere and stay there for a few months rather than a week or two. That would be incredible. And that is definitely on the bucket list. But at the time, I was having to take my mum in for a radiotherapy treatment, and it was something that we were doing every single day for either 5 or 6 days a week, 4 or 5 weeks. She couldn't drive because of the treatment, and I'm the only one who can drive. My brother doesn't drive a car, so it was on me, and I was very, very happy to do it. But it was very draining and physically, and I was still teaching my yoga classes. I was at that point of trying to figure out who the hell am I? Who am I? Who is Rachael? Because I'd closed my yoga studio August 2020, and I had so many people asking me if I was going to reopen it because they missed the memo that I had closed it. And that felt frustrating. But I was diving into this coaching program, and I met so many beautiful people that were in the same team. I use that in air quotes, the same team as I was. And it was amazing how many of them were fitness coaches, yoga teachers and then there were people that were completely different. And it was fabulous to meet this eclectic group of people from all over the world as we moved through this container together for 3 months. And I literally can remember listening to coaching calls from this coaching group and another mentor I have who I've dived into even more mentorship with this year, which I'm absolutely so grateful for doing, because I can really resonate with the difference I can feel in myself and how I show up for you. But all I did for those 5 weeks was drive about 30 minutes to the hospital and sit in the car, sometimes 10 minutes, sometimes for 2 hours, whilst my mum was having this treatment. And I would listen to these coaching calls. And it was really such a support system for me. I don't think I really shared to this container how much it was for a support system, because it's incredible when I look back the difference from March, April 2021 to June 2021. I was like, okay, it's coming towards my birthday. I was going to book somewhere to go away. And I literally went to my favorite place in the UK, or one of my favorite places in the UK, which is Glastonbury. And I found this really cute, amazing bed and breakfast just outside of Glastonbury. And I can remember getting there, checking in and having a cup of tea in the cafe that was on site, and was like, right, I've got to go up to my room because I have this coaching call in an hour. And it's quite incredible reflecting on this now. At the beginning of this coaching call container in March, April 2021, I was sitting in my car at a car park. And then a few months later, I was sitting on a balcony on a really sunny summer June day, having just checked into this gorgeous B&B an hour before, and being held in this container again, and just really seeing the progress that I've had from that coaching experience. And that's where I started moving into really disconnecting from yoga teacher and well-being coach. And that is my intention as a well-being coach, is to help you really have this amazing shift in just a few months. And I do this either as a 90-minute intensive, so it's a starting point, or we can do 3 months or even 6 months one-on-one and really go for it with those goals, those intentions. And it feels quite wonderful to share this is we're coming up to the end of the year. This is such an important time of year for goals. If you've ever set New Year's intentions or resolutions or goals, you might be listening to that going, they're a load of rubbish. I don't do them. I never do them. I fall off the wagon, so I don't bother with them. There is so much you can attain and achieve by setting goals, but it's so much more than that. And that's where getting into coaching has really, really helped me propel myself forward. So 2021 was a really huge year for myself with how I've progressed and changed and transformed. And that's where I really created myself this morning routine. It's where my consistency really grew through really being held and coached in such a strong container. I'm so grateful for that. And that is what I want to create for you. If you're needing change, if you're going through something and you're in the middle of it and you're wanting that accountability to show up and hold yourself to what you're moving through, that's where I can help you as that wellbeing coach to make sure that you do create those boundaries, that lifestyle that you really need and deserve, because looking after yourself is not selfish. And it's something I've heard so much growing up, that I can't put myself first and that it's selfish to do self-care, but it's not. And again, another lovely one-liner, and I said this last week, is you have to put your oxygen mask on first. You have to put your oxygen mask on first. And having a coach to remind yourself of that is really important. If you forget to do that, if you feel there's not enough time to look after yourself as well as everything else that needs doing, that's something we look at and assess. What are you really truly making a priority in your life? You deserve to be that priority. You deserve to have those boundaries set to say no when you need to say no, when you need to rest, and when you need help. That was the other big thing for me, is asking for help. I have been really bad, and I still do struggle with this, with asking for help. And it's okay to ask for help. It's not a bad thing. It's not that you can't do everything. It's that you don't need to. You don't need to do everything. And yes, I'm going to mention another mentor, and I love that she's a business mentor, so she does this from a very business point of view. But CEO doesn't mean Chief Everything Officer. You do not need to be the CEO of your life. You're not the Chief Everything Officer. If you are the CEO, step into that, because you are the CEO. It's your life. But as the CEO, you get to decide what you delegate and what you delete and what you delay. The 3 Ds when we go into our wellbeing coaching together, what you get to delegate, what you get to delete, and what you get to delay. Is it important? Does it need to be done now? Do you really need to do it? Probably not. So it can be deleted or delegated. And that can be really, really empowering for your well-being and how you can elevate your well-being. And this is a big thing that I do as your coach. This is a big thing I can help you do as your coach. And as I was saying last week, which was a longer episode than I intended to do, but wrapping up 10 plus years in one episode is quite a big, big feat. But as I said last week, it's honoring that journey. And I will admit, I've just totally had a brain fart with where I was going to go with that. So I promise I will listen back to this, because I want this to be authentic. I'm not going to delete it. I'm not going to run back through it and listen to what I said. I will listen back to this and circle back on another episode, I'm sure. But what we're doing when we're creating that container, you and me, whether it's one-on-one or in a coaching setting with a group, it's creating that opportunity to create boundaries, to say yes or no to things, what really lights you up. And that's what really lights me up as a coach, with helping you create that lifestyle for yourself. And knowing that you don't have to do it alone. And this is where the asking for help really comes in, is by being in a container, whether it's one-on-one or in a group coaching session or in a membership. It's knowing that there are others there that you can hear their stories and you know they're going through very similar things. I won't say same. This is where that same but different comes in. And another one of my favorite one-liners, because everyone's going through similar things, but they're not the same. They're different because it's what you are going through. And it's honoring that and how you can help serve yourself to progress and move towards those goals that you want to achieve. I know I was talking about goals. The goals are really empowering and important, but don't overlook them. But you need a plan to move through them. And this is where I love working as a wellbeing coach, because I help you to really assess and look at your lifestyle to see what is that priority, where do you need those boundaries setting, and how you can create a plan for those goals to happen. Now, for some of us, and we've talked about this in my wellbeing membership, some of them are work in progress. Some of them don't get started because we realize they're a bigger task and maybe we don't know how to reduce them down. But that's again where I come in and we can sit with it and go, okay, what else can we do to make this a smaller and smaller and smaller step? And I love doing it. I love doing it. It's something I absolutely adore doing. So moving into that wellbeing coaching, I still teach yoga. I love teaching yoga, but knowing that there's so much more that I can do to help you feel great really feels like a beautiful part of my journey to move through. So I'm going to leave this one here for this episode this week, mostly because I'm intrigued on where I was going with that tangent, and I want to have a little listen through. And my dog's now ringing the bells because she wants to go outside. So if you have got any questions on wellbeing coaching, how this could help you, what are you working towards? Have you even thought about those goals that you may be setting in a couple of weeks as you move into 2023? Get in touch. Let's continue the conversation over on Instagram, and come and follow me at I am Rachael_UK. It is linked in the show notes. And I will see you next week. And I'm going to go into a little bit of information about the 1% and how I started my morning routine. So I shall see you then.